Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Thanks for being with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got a brand new bingo card to start the week. It's pinned to the top of Pat Unleashed on Twitter. And if you get bingo sometime during the course of the week, you want to be the first to call 888-900-3393 to get your bingo prize. $30 worth of merch from patgrayshop.com and a dozen cookies from Kexi.com. Starts in the upper left-hand corner with Kamala Harris.
Significance of the passage of time.
We need to have a conversation. And we've got Chris correcting a Spanish pronunciation. Going to be difficult to do since he's not here this week.
Guess we won't be getting bingo on the top row?
He's on vacation. Jeffy, it's right there. Then we've got Hillary.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time.
That doesn't sound like Hillary, does it?
One and the same, though. One and the same.
Oh, well, here it is. That's why I did that.
What difference at this point does it make?
What difference at this point does it make? Next line, Keith.
My nerdy voice.
Jeffy with agonizing. The world's largest mosquito.
World's largest mosquito.
I mentioned Big Mike. Mentioned calling a lid on the day. The sloped roof. This could happen at any time. Liberal meltdown in a car. That could be any liberal meltdown in a car. The Pat Screech, which might be something like, "We are not a democracy!"
There it is.
Something along those lines. What can be.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Right. She sure can.
I can't take 4 years of that. There's just not a chance.
Oof, man.
Not a chance.
Who was it that did the really good analysis of that last week?
I don't know.
That it was virtually communism. And I'll have to dig that back up because it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance. Then we've got to start the next column. Good morning this morning. Chris talks about a money-making scheme.
This is my fault not telling just too muck and fudge that Chris was off this week.
Ukraine is a country.
Ukraine is a country in Europe.
Powerful.
Think about that, too.
Powerful, though.
In Europe?
Keith?
Oh, gravitas.
Jeffy thanks Chris for his service, which probably will not happen, but I guess it could in absentia.
We are trained Marxists.
Trained Marxists, okay, from BLM people. Keith.
Here come the Twitter handles.
Give the wrong number from filling in for Glenn so many times.
Oh, no.
Mostly peaceful. And
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
and there it is.
We are Kamala heavy this week, aren't we?
Yep. Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Since she's so terrific. And
That's the word.
terrific. I'll tell you what wasn't terrific. The opening ceremonies in France. The Paris Games kicked off on Friday night. And
They ruined them.
wow.
Right off the bat, they ruined them.
Did they ever? It makes me not even want to watch the rest of the games.
That's where I'm at.
You know, I love the Olympics. I really do. I've always watched the Olympics. We were just talking about that in my family. Like, wasn't the Olympics a really big deal before? Yeah, it was. It was in our family. And they make it harder and harder every single time. For some reason, they had to mock Christianity. And here's a little bit of their depiction, I guess, of the Last Supper.
Performing the song King. Costumes? None other than Louis Vuitton.
That's
My
really
gosh.
gross.
Oh, my gosh.
Bunch of drag queens mocking one of
Mocking
the most
Last Supper.
iconic Christian paintings ever.
Yep.
And there it is. In French, which makes it even worse. Look at the hideous.
Despicable. That's just absolutely despicable.
Yeah. Yep.
Jillian Michaels had a great quote. I'm just looking for that.
Oh, a great tweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to hand this over? It's kind of small. That's why I kept it over here. Unless you got your wife's glasses.
Yep, right. It is a little small. But again, I do have Jackie's glasses. So she tweeted out, "Dear fellow gays." I didn't even know she was gay until that moment.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
Did you know
either.
that?
I don't think I did either. No.
I had no idea. Lance, did you know that? Julie, oh, you did?
Lance is the keeper of all knowledge.
Yes. Dear fellow gays, we demand tolerance and respect, but then make a mockery of something sacred for over 2 billion Christians. This type of hypocrisy and lack of understanding is a bad look. We get outraged when the extreme right bashes us, but then we do this stuff.
Yeah.
This is not how we break down barriers and how you build them. Really, really excellent point.
Yeah, I also thought that Jordan Peterson tweeting out a very simple tweet. Now do Mohammed.
Yeah.
Let's see you do that, Paris.
Right. You said you wanted to be inclusive.
Yeah.
So do it. That's brilliant. I like that a lot. Now do Mohammed. You know, they never would.
No.
You know they wouldn't.
France lives in fear of...
you bet they do. And with good reason.
Yeah.
But they live in fear, and they would never think to do that. So the creator of this wonderful, blasphemous display, some kind of, I guess he's a French actor and singer, Philippe Catherine.
Oh, you're talking about the blue guy.
Yeah.
We got a montage where we get to see him. That'll be fun.
He appears as the Greek god Dionysus. I suppose we have that. Yeah. Painted blue, wearing very little more than a bunch of flowers around his giblets. In that area.
Yeah. You want to see the montage of all the evil that was on display?
Well, yeah, sure.
It's part of that. Yeah.
Okay.
There he is. Oh, look at that. The bearded lingerie guy crawling around on the red carpet. And that's... Oh, here we go. Your opening ceremonies. Summer Olympics. This is not good. Not good. Oh, Marie Antoinette. Without her head, and
as I said,
and death metal playing in the windows. That's cool, right? Opening ceremonies, Olympics.
Well, this part of the ceremony is entitled Liberty and the Quest for Liberty.
Liberty. There's Liberty. There's a lot of liberty.
Screams Liberty right there.
A lot of liberty right there on display.
Screaming it at the top of its lungs.
Now, we made sure that none of our edits included the one guy's sex organs hanging out of his pants behind the child in this scene. That was part of it. You gotta love it. Your Summer Olympics.
So the douchebag that created this said, in this scene from the Olympic opening ceremony, the famous painting of the Last Supper is recreated. Okay, this is not his. It's not his excuse. It's where is that? Okay, we want to include everyone and not exclude anyone.
Oh, good.
And when we do that, questions are raised. Our subject was not to be subversive. BS.
Right.
We never wanted to be subversive. We wanted to talk about diversity. Diversity means being together.
Oh, shut up.
What? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
We wanted to include everyone. Simple as that. Well, except Christians. We didn't want to include Christians.
Well, we wanted to include them so that we can mock them openly.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
They wanted to include mocking Christians, but not Christianity itself.
Precisely.
In France, we have freedom of creation, artistic freedom. We're lucky in France to live in a free country. I didn't have any specific messages that I wanted to deliver. Really? In France, we are a republic. We have the right to love whom we want. We have the right not to be worshipers. Wow. We have a lot of rights in France. And this is what I wanted to convey.
Good job. You got it.
You
hit
nailed
a home
it.
run there.
Nailed it.
I'm sure I was just being too sensitive when I saw. I was walking through the room, and this is before I saw any of this other stuff that was happening with the opening ceremonies. But I saw the golden calf had grown up and was now a golden bull, and I thought, oh, that's too perfect. That's too perfect. There's a little golden calf next to it, and then there's the bull. But I later learned that that's just a statue out there commemorating some victory they had in some town. Which, I mean, if you're France, you don't have a lot of victories on the battlefield to commemorate, so you make a statue whenever that happens.
You got to take what you can get.
But it fit in perfectly with the golden lights and everything there, and in addition to what we just saw. Ooh, that was a pagan ritual from beginning to end.
Terrible. Absolutely despicable and terrible, and yes, evil. Evil. You wanted to be inclusive. Shut up. I'm so sick of that nonsense.
By the way, the Olympics have pulled the opening ceremonies replay from their website. So you couldn't go and watch that there.
Oh, wow.
There's been that much backlash this weekend.
Good.
Sure has been.
Marianne Maréchal Le Pen said in a post on X that the performance was not France that is speaking, but a left-wing minority ready for any provocation. So that's great. That was nice to hear. I think that a lot of the French people were actually embarrassed by this.
They were.
They were embarrassed because it was pathetic. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything about this. I just wanted to include everybody. They know that's garbage. Everybody on the planet knows that's garbage. We know you have an agenda. You're trying to shove it in our face. Okay, you did.
Has the Pope, I think he's still not said anything.
Oh, he probably loved it.
Yeah, I don't think he has said anything about the opening ceremonies.
Interesting.
Which you think if there was something in the Pope's wheelhouse, it would be what we saw on display there.
You would think, right?
Mm-hmm. And
you would think.
It's wildly been branded the worst opening ceremonies ever. Yeah.
And they claimed before, ahead of time, that it was going to be the best extravaganza that's ever been presented. Did you know what was going to happen when you made that claim? Wow. I mean, even Jillian Michaels was embarrassed by it. She's in your community, which I didn't know until now, but still.
There's only so much room in our brains.
I know.
And the sexuality of somebody that works out isn't really at the top of my list of things to know about.
No. I don't remember her ever talking about that, but maybe she has. How did you know, Lance?
Stalks her.
Just knew. Just one of those things that is, all right. He just knew.
You have a microphone in there, Chime in with us. Play around. Hey, it was good to see we had a big tech company pull their advertising. That's C-Spire.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, they tweeted out
that's really good.
Their comment there.
Yeah, here's what they tweeted. Say, get Jackie's glasses one more time.
It's on the screen.
Yeah, okay, it is right there, isn't it? We were shocked by the mockery of the Last Supper during the opening ceremonies of the Paris Olympics. C-Spire will be pulling our advertising from the Olympics.
I mean, that's how you get your point across.
Love it
in this world.
Yeah, money. It makes the world go round, and when you take that money away, people notice.
Now, none of what's happening here, with advertising being pulled or anything like that, is going to change the fact that LeBron James is an American-hating douchebag who showed up in the middle of the national anthem because he is him. And, he's always shouted during he can't wait for the national anthem to end. Mm-hmm. And so he's always making a big spectacle before Lakers games and stuff. And so he just walked into the arena while the American national anthem was playing. Just everybody else standing, respecting the flag.
They play Serbia yet?
Hell, I don't know, man.
Let's look. Let's look and see. Because, they've got the...
What about South Sudan?
They got by them by a point. I think they play them next.
Okay.
Because they're in the same group as the U.S. But
let's see.
But we played Serbia over the weekend, and that's a big game.
Final score. We did win. I saw the headline.
Good.
But I don't have a score. Who wrote this article?
Why would you put the score in there?
Okay. Must I type in Serbia?
When do sports stories ever include scores, Keith? You're getting pretty picky now.
And we'll get to this search engine stuff later. But, I mean, you have to type out, this is ADD moment, Donald Trump's assassination. It won't autocomplete on Google. They are trying to erase it from history. You have to type out assassination of Donald Trump. You have to type out all of the words. It is obvious what's going on there. And by the way, for those that care, men's team won 110-84 over Serbia.
Good. All right. That's a good beating. Yeah, it's a good beating. In the medal count so far, we're in first place overall medals, only fifth in gold. And that seems to be how they rank everybody. China's number one with 5 gold. 2 silver, 2 bronze. They've got 9 total. Then Japan, South Korea, Australia, and the United States. Only 3 gold so far. 6 silver, 3 bronze. We got 12 overall. 12-9 over China. But wow,
that big.
We're gonna kick it into gear.
Yeah, let's go.
People.
United States rematch. This time it counts versus South Sudan comes up Wednesday afternoon. So
when America and South Sudan get together on the basketball court, you can throw out all the records. All the records.
That's right.
It's just too unpredictable.
I did like Anthony Osh tweeted out. He's a pathead. He said, "We want to issue a challenge to all the patheads." Now, this is before the opening ceremonies and everything just completely ruined it for us. But on Friday, he said, "Issue a challenge to all the patheads to annoy their spouses during the Olympics. Example: the 100-meter dash. Just tell your spouse no one knows how long that is."
Could be an inch.
And just do that.
Could be 100 miles.
Every
I
event.
don't know.
Every
I love
event.
That.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, please. Yeah, I like that. It used to be the 100-yard dash, and then they changed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 100 yards, and people, when they broke that 10-second barrier, it was a huge deal. And then I think they might have even broken the 9-second barrier, and then they went to meters. And then that, lengthened it a little bit, so it added time to it. But what I think the record now from Usain Bolt is it 9.57 or something? Just incredible. You imagine running a football field length. In fact, more than that. You'd probably include the end zone there in 9.57 seconds. That is fast.
I mean, I hate to nitpick, Pat, but it was actually much slower than that. It was 9.58 seconds.
9.58, sorry.
I mean, that is
I'm sorry.
pathetic.
I apologize.
I was on board praising Usain Bolt when you said 9.57.
Yeah, but not now. Not now.
I mean, let's go. Whatever.
What kind of slug is this guy? Is he a turtle? Does he have a shell?
And that right there is a non-American who respects.
I love the guy.
Our national anthem and our flag.
I love the guy, and you
much more than LeBron James ever could.
Talk about somebody who, yeah, absolutely, that's true. And he dominated for better part of a decade, I guess. He was really good. He won the 100 and 200, like 18 times or something.
Incredible, man.
For the last 18 Olympics, he won them both. That's a lot. Multiply 18 by 4, and that's how many years he dominated.
Don't put me on the spot like that. 72.
Thank you. Good job. Think you're right.
I don't even. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
It's
right.
just a wow. I mean, I just literally threw 2 numbers together and hoped they were the right ones.
And they were. So congratulations on that.
Yay, me.
All right. So do we have more on the Paris games? The organizers chimed in with the statement.
Oh yeah. We got.
Here's the statement from the organizers. Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. Oh, that's... What do you mean, clearly?
I know.
Clearly, there was no intent? No, I don't think you know what that word means.
Keep using that word.
The opening ceremony tried to celebrate community tolerance.
Oh, my gosh. Again,
I'm so tired of it.
Again,
I can't stand it.
Tolerance doesn't extend to Christianity.
No, right. We believe this ambition was achieved. If people have taken offense, we're really sorry.
I hate that.
You sure don't sound
those
it.
non-apology apologies.
I know.
Look, if you were offended, we're sorry. It's on you, though, because you were offended. If
Well,
you weren't
that's what he's saying.
Right. If you weren't offended, then we wouldn't need to apologize.
Artistic director Thomas Jolly tried to draw attention away from the Last Supper references after the opening ceremony by saying that hadn't been his intention. Right. That's not my intention. It clearly was your intention. You wanted to mock and belittle Christians and Christianity. You wanted to hit us where we lived because you don't like our beliefs.
Yeah. And then to make it even more clear, they made sure, please put the painting back up. They made sure that you put the little Jesus halo thing behind the big fat tranny in the middle.
Right, yeah.
To make sure, just in case you can't tell, this is the Last Supper. That's Jesus in the middle, everybody. You see the thing behind her? Okay, we got it now? Don't tell me you weren't trying to.
Oh, absolutely they were. Oh, absolutely. It's despicable. Meanwhile, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden praised the opening ceremonies.
Of course she would.
Said it would be difficult for Los Angeles to top that in 2028.
Okay.
Oh, won't it though? How could you possibly top that? They may have had more drag queens in an opening ceremony than all the rest of the opening ceremonies combined. So that would be difficult to top. And I believe that's a pretty clear statement. Clearly, they had more drag queens than all other opening ceremonies combined, because I think the combined total up until now was 0.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, they fixed that.
But she also said nothing of the open mockery of Christianity, of course, and lack of decency in general. Another issue the opening ceremonies had was when they introduced the South Korean team. As being from North Korea.
Oh, our bad.
Oopsie daisies.
Is there a difference? Huh?
Same thing, right? It's Korea.
Same thing.
You both end in Korea. Don't worry about it.
They were more apologetic about that than they were about making fun of Christianity.
Well, that's a much more egregious offense, as you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you following it now? Are you?
It has left such
in the Olympic spirit,
sour taste in my mouth.
I know, me too.
Like I'll turn on the Roku and you'll see the little Olympic logo, click here, and I'm like, nah, I don't even want to see what's on right now.
If you go to the NBC app, there's like a whole bunch of different events that are being covered simultaneously, and you can click on them and watch pretty much whatever you want, from water polo to that weird sport they call handball, but it's not like the handball we used to know.
Oh, where they throw it and it kind of curves and stuff. That's pretty cool. What is that? It's
like a combination between soccer, lacrosse, and roller derby, maybe. It's a strange sport. And I guess the two countries that dominate are, I think, Denmark and France. So apparently we don't have that great a handball team.
It's not. So it's handball, right? It's just handball.
I'm pretty sure.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes they dribble, or like you would in basketball, and other times they just run holding the ball. So I don't know why you would dribble if you can just run while you hold the ball. Why would you take the chance on dribbling that little ball?
You can't tackle on that, can you?
No.
That's too bad.
No, I don't think you can.
It'd be like rugby.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is the first year for breakdancing. They call it breaking.
Breakdancing?
Yeah.
Is an Olympic sport?
Bro, I mean, the times they are changing.
Okay. That's interesting.
I know.
Wow.
I mean, it's athletic, right?
Oh, they also had surfing.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
But the surfing, I'm thinking, where in France?
Oh, yeah, where are they?
Even off the coast of France, where would you surf? French Polynesia. That's where they surf.
Shut
Can you believe that?
up.
They're in French Polynesia to go surfing. But because it's a French territory, they thought, yeah, that's part of France.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're going to surf there.
So, oh, my goodness.
Your Olympic experience is going to French Polynesia, I guess, if you're a surfer.
It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, very weird.
How?
I've never seen anything like it.
You talk about being See, when I was like Atlanta 1996, they had something up in the mountains. I think North Carolina, maybe it was kayaking or something like that. And like that felt like blasphemy, Olympic blasphemy.
Yeah.
How dare you let another state have an Olympic event in Atlanta? And my gosh, how about another hemisphere?
I know. I know. That'd be like the LA Games doing one of the sports in Guam. Why would you do that?
Oh my gosh.
It's just weird. It's really weird, but
give 'em ideas.
they're doing it. They're doing it.
This is going to probably happen a lot if surfing is now an Olympic sport.
Yeah, because there's not very many places that really have good waves for surfing.
Hold on a second. Upcoming, let's do this.
Like you're never going to have a surfing competition in Montana. You know, that's just
I don't know that you'll ever have the Summer Olympics. They can burst your bubble there.
Probably not.
So, I mean, we've got L.A., so, I mean, they'll be able to do that close there. You've got Brisbane. I mean, you can do it close there and stuff.
Yeah, Australia's great for surfing.
So I guess that's as far out as we know right now.
Okay, so L.A. has 28, and then Brisbane in 32?
Brisbane's 32, yeah.
All right.
And let's see. Where's the Winter Olympics here? This is a dumb article.
Salt Lake City was it 2034?
Yeah, so 26, you're going to have Milan, Italy.
All right.
2030... I swear I'm about to control F 2030 because this article sucks. French Alps. Wait, you don't get it.
The French Alps? France got it again?
Screw that.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
And then Salt Lake 2034.
All right. Well, good luck with the construction in Salt Lake City again. That was fun 20 years ago. I'm sure it's going to be even more fun this time. So that'll be great. But I think they have all the venues. I think they kept them. And they used them for other things, and so they're updated, and I think they keep them maintained. They should be fine.
Because that was 2002, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was what really put Mitt Romney on the map, I guess, right?
It was. He came in and saved the games. Mm-hmm. He actually did do a good job with that. I mean, they were mired in scandal, if you remember. There was...
I mean, that's every Olympic game, right?
Yeah, but it really became obvious with the Salt Lake Games, and so a lot of people were humiliated over it. And he came in, and they were in real trouble. I mean, it was on the verge of collapse, and he fixed it. And they wound up. Nobody thought the Salt Lake Games would make money, but they did.
So he went from there to be governor of Massachusetts after that, or before that?
I think that was before
that.
Yeah.
And then on to lose to Obama.
Yep.
Get in the Senate. And now goodbye.
Becoming even more Republican in name only than he was before. And just became a liability, really, to the Republican Party.
That's right. To America.
So, thank you so much for that. And now, what are they going to replace him with? Probably somebody just as bad, if not worse. And I never understood how that can happen in states like Utah that are so clearly conservative.
It happens in South Carolina with Lindsey Graham. It happens in Texas with John Cornyn.
Sure does.
It happens in Montana with John Tester.
Yeah, who's an actual Democrat.
What is that?
I don't know. But he's in danger of losing this time. So I hope Montana fixes that problem. I was just reading about Bozeman, Montana, which has been overrun by celebrities.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, it's really
town.
sad. It, Bozeman was smaller than where I grew up in Helena when I lived there, but now it's like for Montana, huge, like 118,000 in the metro area.
Good grief, that is getting big.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, but they have, so many celebrities and rich people have moved in and bought second homes that they use for Airbnbs, that it's priced all the locals out of their own town.
You Californians have already destroyed Colorado. Then you're just about to nail the coffin into Boise and Idaho.
Yep.
And now they're working
and now Bozeman, Montana.
I mean, y'all need we got to contain that whole California thing.
Yeah.
By the way, I do appreciate Ted Cruz's campaign slogan here as he runs for re-election. Keep Texas, Texas.
I like that.
Maybe too late, but I like it.
Yeah. All right. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Carl Smith tweets, I must have been in the bathroom and missed the drag queens mocking Muhammad being taken into heaven on a horse during the Olympic ceremony.
Well, that was on Peacock, not on NBC.
That's why. Yeah. That's why. From Hoots, what the Olympic opening signal to the world is that the full-out collapse of Western civilization is on, and all being done from within. Just give it time. PSYOP Plant, why are you all surprised about the Olympics opening? The mentally ill have been running the world for decades. Mm-hmm. Not sure we're surprised, just disgusted. Mm-hmm. Paco D, the West rejected God. Atheism cannot fill the spiritual void. Therefore, why not return to worshiping ancient anti-God religions? Oh, many are. Steve tweets, Los Angeles can definitely outdo Paris. Remember the Dodgers game where the drag queens mocked Catholicism?
Right.
I do indeed. From Jimmy Dimples, thinking that the Summer Games coming to L.A. in 28 might be apropos. It's a city that many are trying to flee due to expected falling fireballs.
Yeah.
Also, we understand that softball is coming to the Summer Games with the Los Angeles Games.
Yeah, Lance just informed us of that.
Yeah, canoeing.
Yep.
Slalom canoeing.
In the Oklahoma River and the downtown boathouse district, I'm Googling and discovering.
Okay. And then the softball event is not going to be in Los Angeles. It's going to be in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, both of them.
How weird is that?
Yeah, that is weird.
What?
But
you can't play softball in Los Angeles?
Well, they that's where they do. I think Oklahoma City is like how Omaha is to college baseball.
All right.
So that's interesting. That this article I was just looking at, LA isn't building any new facilities.
Oh wow!
For the Olympics, they're like,
yeah, we're all set.
We're just gonna take it or leave it there, IOC. And then if you don't like it, then we'll go Oklahoma City. And that's what they're doing.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That's kind of far.
It's not Metro LA? No. I mean, almost. LA spread out, let's be honest.
It is spread out, so maybe.
But is Oklahoma City the closest place for these events?
I wouldn't think so, but.
Okay.
Las Vegas might be a good place, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird one. DMXDM, France's tolerance is just a new form of surrender. Uh-huh. And, okay, so we had Jill praising the games. Do we actually have are we ready with
we got it.
Yeah, here's what she had to say about the French opening ceremonies.
It was spectacular. The rain did not dampen our spirits.
Spectacular.
And Casey, honestly, every step of the way, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, how are we going to top this? How are we going to top this? So Paris has
no blasphemy.
Eiffel Tower, but we have Hollywood and the magic of Hollywood that makes all dreams come true. So I think we're going to be okay.
So we could actually have the LGBTQIA2 plus community having sex at the opening games.
Oh.
What if we did that? What if you just get your partner, your significant other, you just get naked, and everybody just has their way with their partner.
Now, hold on.
During the opening ceremony. Would that top it? I think it might.
Is it the Peacock feed or is that NBC?
That's
over
both.
The air?
You got to see that on all channels.
Well, I know
channels.
there's a 0% chance that Dr. Jill will be the first lady at that time.
0% chance. Thank heaven. Oh, man. She just shows her hideousness every single time you see her. Every time. Yeah, we're spectacular. Yeah, well, that's a word for it. Not an appropriate word, but it is a word. Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, the mainstream media been losing their minds over something Donald Trump told Christians during a speech. Check this out.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time.
Just this time.
Just this time.
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Why does he say things like that? Why do you do it? Why?
My beautiful Christians. I'm not Christian. That's what he said, right?
I think he said, I'm a Christian. I think. Right? Play that again. Let's see. Listen carefully.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time.
I just need you to do it this time, because then it'll be so perfect. You
won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you.
Does sound like he says I'm not.
Out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote.
He had to have said, I'm a Christian, right? You would think, but
I don't know.
I mean, the whole spiel didn't need to be said. Why would you say that and give them such ample, they're just going to use that against him, He tells them Christians will never have to vote again. He's saying that you're not going to ever get to vote again. Mm-hmm. Shut up. He was also at this year's Bitcoin conference in Nashville, where he said this.
But for too long, our government has violated the cardinal rule that every Bitcoiner knows by heart. Never sell your Bitcoin, right? That's right, isn't it, huh? That's right. How did I figure that one? Never sell your Bitcoin. And so, as the final part of my plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future.
Okay, so that's very promising. That's very promising. To have that kind of forward thinking. I think Vivek Ramaswamy has some influence on him. And others, it sounds like he's really getting on board with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So that would have been a good clip right then of itself. Then the rest of this is a little concerning as it relates to civil asset forfeiture. Listen to this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
Oh, that's interesting.
As you know.
That's interesting.
Pause it for a sec. Did you know we had a strategic national stockpile of Bitcoin? I didn't know that.
I don't think we do yet.
Yeah. Okay. So he's saying that's going to happen.
We kind of do, as he explains here.
Okay.
And that's where we kind of lead into the whole issue with civil asset forfeiture.
All right. Let's hear it.
You know, most of the Bitcoin currently held by the United States government was obtained through law enforcement action. You know that. They took it from you. That. Let's take that guy's life. Let's take his family, his house, his Bitcoin. We'll turn it into Bitcoin. It's been taken away from you because that's where we're going now. That's where this country is going.
Wait, no one's clapping.
It's a fascist regime.
Okay. So should we... Maybe
it was. So I think he's saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
Right?
I hope. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Yeah. He's saying that's a bad thing. It was taken.
But
from
it's
you.
Also the basis of our stockpile that we're going to have under me. I don't know. I don't.
So they take things from people and they buy Bitcoin with it.
Well, I think he's saying that. Well, I mean, he did say that, but I don't know. I think he's saying that we've already seized it, and that's gonna start our stockpile.
Okay.
But anyway.
How about we return it to the people it belongs to? How about that? I mean, if they haven't been convicted of a crime, give them back their money.
Oh, my gosh.
Give them back their property. Meanwhile, Vice Presidential nominee JD Vance.
Oh, wait. Do we not we have another clip. This is very important about the CBDC, where he's talking about the central bank digital currency.
Oh, okay.
This is very important, I think.
Upon taking office, I will immediately appoint a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council. Would anybody like to be on that particular council? Please raise your hand. Their task will be to design transparent regulatory guidance for the benefit of the entire industry, and they will get it done in 100 days. We will have regulations, but from now on, the rules will be written by people who love your industry, not hate your industry. People that want to make it clear and simple, straightforward and fair. People that want to see your industry thrive, not dive. Next, I will immediately order the Treasury Department and other federal agencies to cease and desist all steps necessary, because, there's a thing going on in your industry. They want to move the creation of a central bank digital currency. It's over. Forget it. CBDC. There will never be a CBDC while I'm president of the United States.
I love it.
And I will always defend the right to self-custody. Self-custody. You're going to have a great industry. You're going to have a great industry, and we're going to be fuel for your industry, not demolish your industry. America will once again be a nation that protects property rights, privacy, freedom of transaction, freedom of association, and
Except
freedom
for
of
civil
speech.
asset
We're going to change we're going to go back to the old days when we were a nation that was building, not a nation that was eating itself alive from within.
Okay.
I mean,
how about we stay away from the regulation then? How about the government stay out of it?
That's the problem.
How about that? Yeah, just stay out of it.
But I think that him signaling that strong... Look, I don't care if he doesn't understand all of this stuff. I mean, it's very difficult to understand. But as long as he's surrounded by people who do...
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Then that is very good and
I mean,
very
nobody
promising.
knows everything about everything, right? Nobody can be an expert on every single topic. So you get good people around you. That's what presidents do.
I honestly think that the deep state and the cretins that run the Democrat Party that have big plans for us in digital currency see a clip like that, and he becomes even more of an enemy to them. They do not want this man anywhere near the White House.
That's for sure.
As we well know.
You noticed how they are attacking JD Vance like crazy too. Yep. They're trying to tear him apart. Here's another thing he said about Donald Trump. What about this? What about this thing that he just said about Donald Trump? Why, only 8 years ago? Okay. All right. What about what Kamala Harris? How come they never bring up what Kamala Harris said about Joe Biden? That he was a racist. 4 years ago. Come on.
Yep.
I mean, they never mention it. Never talk about it. It never comes up.
And the big thing he's being yelled at by the left now is that he said that crazy cat ladies or what was it, without children.
Yeah, something.
Are running the country. I mean, it's accurate.
So?
Yeah, it's
what's your point?
Jennifer Aniston and Chelsea Handler versus JD Vance right now.
Oh, great. That's great.
I'll pick my side on that battle.
Yeah. He was on the campaign. JD was on the campaign trail this weekend and had a message to Kamala Harris that went like this.
I saw the other day Kamala Harris question my loyalty to this country. That's the word she used, loyalty. And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty, because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border.
Thank you. Yeah, right.
And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country.
Right. That's great.
I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's he's going to eat up whoever. Of course, I don't know. I think he's capable of beating just about anybody she picks. But Mark Kelly might be a little bit of an issue there.
Oh, I saw
might be a problem.
Interesting story about Mark Kelly got some money from communist China to help start a spy balloon company.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
That was interesting. Interesting read.
Oh, that is interesting.
I don't know if you've ever heard of any involvement with China and spy balloons. Anybody heard anything? I mean, some random thing.
Doesn't sound very familiar.
Yeah. And by the way, I mean, you remember how in 2000 when George W. Bush picked Dick Cheney and Rush Limbaugh had a great montage of just people in the press and on the left saying gravitas, gravitas, gravitas. That's why he picked Dick Cheney. He needs gravitas on this ticket. Well, now the word for JD Vance is he's so weird. Oh, weird. JD Vance is weird. Weird, weird, weird. That's the word now.
Have you seen the Vice President of the United States of America? Have you met Kamala Harris? Have you met her? I mean, here's just a little reminder as to what she does at the White House.
Say what the phenomenon. You know it. Indeed, I do know phenomenon.
Hanging out with a 6'6" trans dude. Cool.
God. Yeah.
But that's not weird. That's normal now.
No.
Right? Okay.
And all are babbling about thinking about what can be unburdened by what has been.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Right. See, she can do that. And what about the there was the passage
talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right? The significance of the passage of time.
Okay.
So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time.
God. Shut up.
Okay, but she's not weird. Worry about JD Vance because that's a real weirdo.
Do you think there will be any drama in Chicago in August at the convention, or do you think this thing is?
I think the drama will be what happens outside the convention because, they're going to get all the kooks descending on them, and they've encouraged it, so they deserve it. But inside, I think it's already going to be long decided by then. Well, it's already decided. So I doubt that anything's going to happen inside. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hey, welcome to it. It's moving day for me.
Ooh.
It's finally here, the actual day.
You need a pickup truck? You need some help over there?
Are you offering?
No, I just asked if you need it.
Okay.
It's just, it'll be presumptuous.
No, actually, we got movers.
You got some guys?
Got some guys.
Okay.
We know some bad.
Now, how far away are you going to be?
Not very. Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe, tops. Yeah. So we've been running back and forth over and over. Try to, you know how you look at the little stuff that's around and you're like, how are we ever going to move all of this stuff? Next time we move, which will probably be a year or two from now. So, we're just temporarily staying at this place.
Right.
But next time, I'm willing to throw away virtually everything I own rather than move it. Yeah. Virtually everything in the house can go. All of it. All of it. Bye-bye. But you get down to the little stuff that, you just open the drawers and you're like, oh, God.
Just dump the drawer in the back seat.
That's what I wind up doing. It's like, okay, they'll figure this out later.
But do you?
No, you don't.
And then you end up moving into the next place.
Yes!
Trust me, I've been there.
Right.
And that's why I don't want to move now. It's like I've been here for 12 years, so I've taken all the crap from the previous years. I've added another dozen years, and you know what? I think we're good.
Other than the house I grew up in, we've lived in this home longer than anywhere else.
Right.
And so, 12 years. Never lived in a place 12 years before. So I'm a little used to it. I like it. It's sad. It's a sad day for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like you could use a friend with a pickup truck to come help move some of those miscellaneous drawers for you.
I could, if only there was somebody.
If only there was somebody.
Somebody, and a roadway between.
Oh, that's that sticking point.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's a problem.
I always forget about that. Shoot.
We, the new owners came over the next day after closing, and they had a bunch of questions, for how to operate the pool or what to maintain, those kinds of things, how to turn things on and whatever. And it turns out he said that they've been stalking the neighborhood for years. They had an opportunity to buy a house in the neighborhood and it fell through. I don't know what happened. You didn't really explain it. But it fell through somehow, and so ever since, they'll just come into the neighborhood and drive it for a while. And then he said, one day when we were doing this, we saw your house, and we said, if that ever comes up, if it ever comes up for sale,
wow,
we're buying it.
Did the neighborhood watch not jump into gear at some point, seeing this strange couple driving around all day?
I guess not. It's a little concerning, isn't it?
But that's interesting. So they've been waiting for you.
They've been waiting for us. And so, a few weeks ago, they just decided to drive through the neighborhood like they're wont to do because they've been stalking the neighborhood.
Right.
And saw the for sale sign outside and immediately went into action. And now they own it. So congratulations on that.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm glad
it's
that
kind of
worked
fun.
out.
They're really, they are, I've never seen anybody so psyched to own a house before.
Where'd they move from again?
Somewhere around here. They're locals.
No, but didn't you say at some point they moved from the Northeast or something?
No, that was a different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Greenwich people fell through. This is a local family. Right. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's like an oral surgeon or something.
I see.
Yeah.
Must be money in that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, they put like 60% down.
Wow. What does that feel like?
I don't know. I couldn't do it, but good for them. Yeah, he's got some cash. We got some tweets here. Cornelius Megaduke tweets, today is the first day I've heard Pat mention Helena without putting mean streets in front of it. Is Pat feeling okay?
Oh,
no,
boy.
I'm not. I'm really sad today. And so, yeah, I think that.
Is that why you're wearing a black shirt?
Yeah.
Because
I'm in mourning.
The mourning of your house?
In mourning, yeah. Athletically overweight sports team, the wife of Joe, the most Catholic of all Catholics ever, loved the Olympic opening ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not lost on us.
And took God's name in vain a couple times during
Several
it, too.
times, right? Exactly.
Okay.
But the Bidens do that, we've noticed, a lot.
Sure do.
A lot. They're so super, super Catholic. They just ignore that commandment completely. Don't worry about that. Squatching duck, the lack of regulation is actually holding crypto back.
Okay.
Is it?
Well, he makes a pretty good point here, actually.
Investors are not as likely to invest in an unregulated monetary endeavor. The difference comes in the nature of the regulations.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think people are nervous about it because they worry about the regulations down the road when it's not regulated.
Right. Trump did say in that speech that he wanted America, that under his watch, America would become the crypto capital of the planet and the superpower of the world, the Bitcoin superpower of the world. So I like to hear that.
Yeah.
And if the government... So I guess they own $15 billion in crypto right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was reading something, and
I've never seen that before.
And so I guess he wants to buy 2 million. So I did some quick math during
He wants
the
to
break.
buy 2 million Bitcoins?
Bitcoins, and right now it's a 70,000 each. So I did some Keith math here. Y'all can check my work here. So that would mean that it would be a purchase of $140 billion. Now, let's say crypto goes up to 300,000, which I've heard that quite a bit. Then that's 600 billion. So you've almost tripled your investment there. And I have seen this one place. I don't know how you even predict where Bitcoin's going to go. But there's one.
Because it could go back to 16 or
it could go back to
1,000.
enough for a pizza.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
And that's the great unknown in this. But this one thing I read there was an estimate that it would hit $3 million worth of per Bitcoin.
Oh, my.
Now, let's just say it does. In this little
that would be
fantasy land. That's $6 trillion based off of that 2 million Bitcoin purchase Trump wants to make. That's a game changer for our country.
Sure is, yeah.
So, whatever. We'll see. But that, I mean, the way he talked about, never mind the Bitcoin stuff, the central bank digital currency stuff, that's enough to terrify those on the left that want to control every aspect of your life. If someone is going to get into office that's going to derail the plans for that.
Are a lot of experts saying 300,000 now is where they think it's going?
I've seen that multiple places.
I've seen it too.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw 400,000 from somebody, which is a lot. I haven't seen the $3 million guesstimate, but somebody said that?
Yeah, it was this. I don't know how much stock.
Not Tika Tiwari, is he? Do you remember when Tika Tiwari said it's going to 40,000?
Yeah.
And people are like, okay.
So,
and then I think it went back to 3, and then it exploded again, and it went beyond 40,000.
So let me just check here. So earlier this month, it was at 55,000. Now again, it's back up to 70. It's very volatile right now. But you got in when it bottomed out, right? Right, 20. Because let's see. So last year it fell all the way down to 25,000.
Oh, wow.
So you got in, right? When it was down there? About a year ago? And now it's at 70,000? So, I mean, you've had opportunities.
Yeah,
right?
I've had many opportunities.
All right.
We first started talking about this at $300.
Man, if it makes you feel any better, the producer for one of my favorite podcasts, I interviewed him for At the Mic when I used to do little interviews with people's life stories. And so what did he have? He had, I think, 7 Bitcoins. And I think he basically, he paid his cable bill or something for it.
My gosh.
Hold on. I'd have to go back and listen to it.
That's like the pizza story.
I'm talking about Jeremy Borland, Al Borland of Fantasy Footballers. So I think he exchanged it for cable. So he was getting it he wasn't getting it legally, cable.
Okay.
And so, or somehow, I forgot. But anyway, Bitcoin was involved in the exchange. Or maybe he gave it to this other guy, gave it away. And I think it was 7 Bitcoins or something.
Oh, my God.
And
oh, my gosh.
Hope that cable was good watching.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's like $500,000 now.
Oof.
Something. I forgot. I have to go back and listen to it. But it's just like...
That's nuts.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Wow. Well, yeah, we always... the famous story from, 2009 or 10, when the kid was ordering a pizza and he paid for it with a Bitcoin.
Right.
Remember that?
Right, yep.
Like it was a $40 order or something, and gave a Bitcoin to somebody. Said, "Yeah, I'll take your Bitcoin and I'll send," because they wouldn't accept Bitcoin at that time. So the guy said, "Yeah, I'll pay for your pizza and you send me the Bitcoin." That worked out pretty well for them.
We don't know how good the pizza tasted.
Yeah, we don't. It might have been a $70,000 pizza. It might have been,
or
I don't know,
or $3 million worth of yumminess. The greatest pizza I've ever had.
Hope they got extra cheese with that. Anyway, The Democrat Party is trying to convince us that Kamala Harris isn't and never was Joe Biden's border czar, which of course she is and was. I mean, if you don't want to call her a czar, fine. She was in charge of overseeing the border.
Yeah, there was a video going around this week, and it's this long, drawn-out thing, and I didn't send it in, but basically it's when Joe Biden is sitting there with Kamala Harris, and the whole meeting in this room at the White House is about the border. And he's talking about handing this over to her, putting her in charge and all this stuff. And I was watching it just waiting to hear the word czar in there, which I did not hear. But it was so clear. Right. It was so clear that he was making her in charge of the border.
Right. I don't care what you call her. The director, the head of the border effort, whatever. She's in charge, and is a disaster, and everybody knows it. But blue cities like New York, they're over the influx of illegals. It's fine now. Fine, don't worry about it.
No, they're
Some here are frightened now just to go outside.
What? Now it feels like that whole section is just not available to the community
asking our local elected
anymore. Our parks are not available to
Can't go there.
anymore.
Search out and give us a list of all of the empty lots that there are.
Migrants from a 4,000-bed shelter nearby fill the sidewalks. They sit on park benches, on stoops and curbs, under the BQE overpass. So many people crowded in here, residents feared what was coming.
We have been witnessing the escalation in violence on the street and in the community for months now.
We've been pleading with the mayor, as we've seen increased violence, that this was going to be inevitable.
And on Sunday night, it came. 2 people were murdered here, a third critically injured just outside one of the 2 adjacent shelters in Clinton Hill. It is a neighborhood now pleading for help. Residents came together tonight to demand the city provide more protection for them now and move to downsize the 2 enormous and crowded migrant shelters in Clinton Hill.
There is simply no universe where you can cram 4,000 vulnerable people together safely. Do you believe us now? How many more murders will it take?
This video is responsible for the 2 Sunday night murders. In the video, he appears to be putting a gun in his waistband. The mayor today didn't offer much hope, saying police are looking at a violent Venezuelan street gang as the people behind the shootings.
They're extremely dangerous. We're dealing with violent individuals that are not representative of the overwhelming number of people who are coming here as migrant and asylum seekers.
No one has yet been arrested for those murders on Sunday night, and that definitely hasn't made anyone here feel any safer. Police say they know who they're looking for, they just haven't found him yet. Clinton Hill, Jim Dolan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Just here trying to get a better life, man.
Yeah,
that's all. That go.
That's all.
Yeah.
And somehow obtaining a gun in New York, where the anti-gun laws are so strict.
So strict.
The civilians who are actual citizens can't get one. But the illegal had one there, and that was good.
I got this news alert, this story from the New York Times last night on my phone, and it just said, here's the headline: How Texas Changed Immigration. Governor Greg Abbott bussed 119,000 people to Democrat-led cities in 2 years. Keep that in mind, 119,000 in 2 years, shifting migration patterns and transforming the immigration debate. So I was looking up 119 in 2 years. Wow, that's a lot of people getting shipped out of Texas. Thank you, Greg Abbott. A good use of our tax dollars, I'll tell you that. The Border Patrol, I was just reading this one thing, tallied 249,000 arrests on the Mexican border in December of 2022 alone, 2023 alone. And so basically, Greg Abbott has sent less than half the month's total of a typical border month of arrests. Never mind the people that sneak through and don't get arrested. So Texas has sent half of 1 month's worth. And that's what's overwhelming these cities.
Yep.
Can you imagine if you were in Texas, say, along the border? I mean, it's just, congratulations. These blue cities wanted to be, they wanted to be sanctuary cities, and now you're getting to experience it.
How's that working out? So if you haven't been following the news, a massive hit to the U.S. dollar just came in June when Saudi Arabia didn't renew its 50-year petrodollar deal with the U.S. They've had that since 1974. Saudi Arabia has sold oil solely in U.S. dollars, and that was huge for our global economic dominance. Well, now they want options other than the U.S. dollar. So let me ask you, if there's less demand for the dollar, what happens to the dollar? It's things like this, that Americans decide to turn to Birch Gold Group. For over 20 years, Birch Gold has helped tens of thousands of Americans protect their savings by converting an IRA or a 401k into an IRA in physical gold. And you can do that with Birch with no money out of pocket. To learn more, text the word PAT to 989898. Get your free, no obligation info kit on gold. That's PAT to the number 9898. 9898. They've earned my trust with their education-first approach. Thousands of happy customers and their countless 5-star reviews. Protect your savings with gold before the dollar plunges any further. Text PAT to 989898 today.
Pat Gray. Join the conversation. 888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed. We'll be right back.
Got some tweets here. Tom Karnick tweets, I hope Pat doesn't throw away the beavers. No, the new owners wanted the beavers badly, so
okay,
kept those.
That's good.
I'm a licking butter and various other things. I think every mile closer to Mercury Studios that Pat lives translates into thousands of dollars in speeding tickets saved. Very true.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I forgot what office it was, but maybe it was New York City mayor. It was in the New York Post. I remember that. And it said, like, this guy is maybe can't run for office or won't because his driving record is that bad. And I thought, oh, that's why Pat's not in politics.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. Mm-hmm. Groundhog Baby. I'm pretty sure there's only so much Bitcoin that can be mined.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yep, 21
million. 22 million, somewhere in there. Yeah. So at some point, there will be no more left to buy unless somebody sells.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so he wanted to buy, was it 2 million? What did we say it was?
2 million? Said 2 million.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't want the government owning 10% of Bitcoin.
Man. The Steve 42, the homeless guy in the alley by the liquor store, said Bitcoin is going to $11 trillion billion.
11 trillion billion?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
11 trillion
Better
billion.
Get on board.
I mean, that's from the homeless guy in the alley by the liquor store.
Well, which liquor store and which alley?
You know that one over there.
Okay.
One over there. You leave the studio, you turn left and go down the street. There it is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Get more advice from this guy. Investment tips.
There was a Kamala ad that was making the rounds over the weekend. Supposedly AI parody, or is it? Check this out.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right? The significance of the passage of time.
Right.
So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking. The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring. And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Wow, that's
there
good.
You go.
That is great.
So she hasn't done one sit-down interview. I saw.
Oh, really?
Since she was
anointed?
Yeah, anointed. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, there was a story that said that, and we've talked about this, that she was endorsed through Twitter, as a way to just completely defy Barack Obama. And I believe it. Mm-hmm. This was a way to say, you know what, screw you. You don't want her. That's who you're going to get if you're going to force. Because that's the other thing that came out, that Kamala was ready to push forward with the 25th Amendment stuff. Then that means that she is complicit in this whole lie that Joe Biden is totally fine. He's fine. Then why were you on board with the 25th Amendment plan to oust him?
Yeah.
92% of voters say that she covered that up. I don't know if it's going to be held against her or not, but...
Well, he is fine. I mean, listen to him.
Okay.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare...
Yeah, I mean, right?
She knows so long as she was 9.
Huh?
Security Secretary. After I signed the PAC Act... How much have you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty.
Never. I've never heard that.
Go. Give me a break.
And they all dutifully laugh. I don't even know what the hell you're saying, but man, that was funny.
He's funny.
Man, you're a charmer, aren't you? It's so good. Oh gosh.
Did you see that I think it was Friday, the House voted in favor of a resolution condemning Kamala Harris for the open border catastrophe, and they got 6 Democrats to vote for that as well.
Wow.
That is impressive,
wow.
Especially considering that's their torchbearer right now.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, there are some on the left who aren't sold on her as the Democrat nominee. On Friday night, Bill Maher had a lot of things to say. Do we have time for this here?
No.
It's too long. Okay, we'll get to this in a second, but he had a lot to say about Kamala. None of it good.
No.
A little montage of that coming up.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that she was also put in charge of a rural broadband initiative that had already allocated $42 billion to connect those out in the rural parts of America to the internet. Guess how many people she's gotten connected in the 3? It's been exactly 3 years since this whole
12
program started. Now that'd be 0.
Oh, none.
No people connected.
My God.
She's so good at
She's really good.
What she does.
Yeah, really, really good.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Hey, welcome. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. At blazetv.com in the chat. General Patton posts. Thought he was gone. I thought we lost him, but I guess not. That's great.
I think.
Is this a different? Are you saying this is a different General Patton?
This is Patton, who was a guest on my Friday live stream a few weeks ago. So I am familiar with this General Patton, who's actually a female. Now you're confused.
Oh, now I'm really confused. All right. Female General Patton posts the transcript of Donald Trump, and he did say, I am a Christian.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because he is a Christian. He said that in the past.
Yeah.
Also on the chat reminded us that it wasn't a Bitcoin that was exchanged for pizza. It was 10,000 Bitcoins exchanged for 2 pizzas.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous.
Yeah,
it wasn't the one
silly,
pizza.
Silly. 10,000 Bitcoins for... Okay, so if you did the right thing and you hung on to that, you didn't freak out when it got up to $300 or $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. If you waited until now and it's at $70,000, now your Bitcoin is worth. Your pizza was worth.
A 2-piece. Don't again. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're trying to minimize this thing.
Yes, I don't. I shouldn't do that.
$700 million.
For 2 pizzas.
So $350 million per pizza. And I love it. It's May 22nd is called Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Oh my gosh.
There's the first ever transaction with Bitcoin involved on May 22nd, 2010.
God.
And the excerpt from this chat room thing says, "I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas, like maybe 2 large ones, so I have some left over for the next day."
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins. Because what was it worth? I don't know. 3 cents or something at the time?
Here we go. Okay, so here's the exchange. So the person giving up their Bitcoin writes, "I like having leftover pizza to nibble on later. You can make the pizza yourself and bring it to my house or order it for me from a delivery place. But what I'm aiming for is getting food delivered in exchange for Bitcoins where I don't have to order or prepare it myself. kind of like ordering a breakfast platter at a hotel or something. They just bring you something to eat and you're happy. And a British man took him up on his offer, and the guy's name's here. Hanzik? I don't know. I've never seen this. And bought the 2 pieces for him in exchange for 10,000 bitcoins. Even then, the recipient of the bitcoins got a bargain, paying about $25 for the pizzas. So bitcoins,
$25 for what could be a $700 million payoff.
At that time, 10,000 bitcoins, they were worth $41. Boy, he got screwed. Right? Anyway, so
yeah. Now, what are the chances that he still has 10,000 bitcoins?
Oh, I'm sure he has many
odds?
of them.
He might.
I'm sure he's cashed out a little bit along the way to enjoy life, but I'm sure he has.
Probably a lot.
I don't know where this British guy is, but I'm sure he's on a yacht somewhere.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Wow,
would that be great? Yeah, I'll get you pizza for 10,000 bitcoins. There's somebody who had some foresight. That's nice.
Boy, you talk about laziness not paying off, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel like going to get a pizza. Here, take 10,000 bitcoins, whatever. Now, if you had 10,000 bitcoins to spend on the pizza, how many did you have to draw from? Maybe that guy's doing fine anyway.
Yeah, who knows? And at the time, I think it was easier to mine them, right? I mean,
There's a lot less out there, and in fact, in a couple years, they'll be all mined.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be long. Maybe, I forget the year, but...
Because, again, there's a real finite amount of Bitcoin, 21 million, I think, right?
Yep.
20, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, yep.
A lot of people on the left aren't sold on Kamala Harris as the Democrat nominee we were just mentioning. One of those people is Bill Maher, who had a lot of things to say about Kamala Harris, and not much of it good. Check this out.
Vice President will get all of Biden's campaign money, and on the Democrats' best issue, abortion, she's a walking reminder to women that Republicans are coming for the abortion pill. She won't just protect Plan B. She is Plan B. And as a former prosecutor, Kamala was putting criminals in jail back before liberals decided that was a bad thing. Now that CVS is locking the shaving cream behind plexiglass, Democrats are coming around to her again. Harris would be the first woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. In 3 years as vice president, she's been quieter than an electric car. And like an electric car, your MAGA uncle can't explain why she fills him with homicidal rage. She just does. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
There you go.
Nice.
Bad example. He was talking about how, she's got this track record of... being a tough prosecutor, and she puts people away for drug crimes, all this stuff. Charlie Kirk posted 12 years before Joe Biden made her the border czar, San Francisco DA Kamala Harris let illegal immigrant and drug offenders clear their records in order to protect them from deportation. So, in other words, you commit crimes in America, you get to stay here regardless.
They're also saying she's going to do a mass amnesty if she's in office.
I don't doubt it.
Terrific. Wouldn't that be great?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you could do way more than the $2 million that Ronald Reagan did, mistakenly, by the way. You thought that was going to fix the problem. It didn't. It worsened the problem by a lot. And so I love it when they go to, well, Ronald Reagan, you did have a problem in 1986 with Ronald Reagan. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. And I still do. It's probably the worst thing that Ronald Reagan did in his presidency. Was to grant amnesty, and they were all supposed to pay a $2,000 fine, and we were going to make a whole bunch of money from it. How many of them paid their fines? I think 3. I think 3 of them did.
Suckers.
It probably was 0 is the actual number, I'm guessing, because that just doesn't happen. And even if it did, so what? The problem got 10 times as bad or 20 times as bad. Meanwhile, Google is apparently trying to erase the Trump assassination attempt. Thank goodness it was just an attempt. But they're trying to erase it from history.
Yeah. Doesn't autocomplete. You can try this yourself. You can go to google.com and just start typing. Let's see if they fix this. Assassination.
And on that topic, did you see that the FBI did in fact admit it was a bullet that struck Donald Trump's ear?
They had to.
Yeah, thanks. We all kind of had that one noodled out already. Like, I don't know, the day it happened.
Not some people on the left like Joy Reid and Keith Olbermann.
No, they kept trying to push could have been a piece of glass or a bee sting or, I don't know, a mosquito. Okay, all right.
Let me show you this real quick. Here, zoom in on this if you can. This right here. If you go to Google and you type in assassination attempt on, well, there's Truman. I mean, that's always top of mind when you.
Yeah, Harry Truman.
Right?
A lot of people
You're
are
always
talking
thinking,
about that
man,
right now.
we got Reagan, Ronald Reagan, Lenin. The Lenin one comes up for sure because we're always like, hey, what happened to that guy? Gerald Ford, Franklin Roosevelt. Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Wow.
Andrew Johnson, FDR. Seward. Oh yeah, let's do this one.
Okay.
Secretary of War. Is that who that right? Or Secretary of State? John Paul II comes up, but you literally have to look at this. Watch. See how I'm writing this, Donald. It doesn't.
And it's still not.
Oops.
Nothing still is auto-completing.
Donald space TRUMP.
Oh my God.
You have to type it all out in its entirety to get it to search.
That's interesting. Wow.
There you go. Big tech affecting the election.
But they're non-biased. There's no slant there.
It's just a search engine. Y'all,
it's a search engine.
You conspiracy theorists
Get
on the
off
right.
them. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And then did you see we've got a video that we've got to play about the local law enforcement
in Pennsylvania.
Talking about the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We were supposed to get
a face-to-face briefing.
Sat down with ABC News to explain how they were never consulted by the Secret Service. Check this out.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
Wow.
Not until after the shooting.
And by then?
It was too late.
Yeah. Wow.
Didn't even
communication.
Didn't even talk to them, much less that meeting we know they missed.
What?
And the other ones that had eyes on this guy 2 hours before.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Did you recognize who was interviewing him? It's kind of fun, right?
I did not.
Go back with 10 seconds left in this. Let's see if Pat recognizes the individual from ABC News doing the interviewing here.
All right.
That never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no
Pause
communication
that.
with
This is our selfish self-interest moment here. That's Aaron Katursky. That's who we worked with in Houston. Isn't that fun?
Oh my gosh. That's been too long.
How cool is that?
I did not
really?
recognize
he was the big reporter down in Houston 20 years
guy.
ago. Yeah,
we liked him.
Super nice guy.
But yeah, probably a liberal now. I would imagine. Probably a liberal then.
I'm not going to out Aaron Katursky.
Aaron Katursky from KTRH.
He's an excellent professional.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. That's kind of fun to see him. All right. So, first of all, let me tell you about the Jace case before we get back into these things. In the wake of Hurricane Beryl, over 2 million people were left without power in Texas during the summer with its intense heat and humidity. Not pleasant. Texans are preparing themselves for severe thunderstorms and power outages that follow hurricanes. With weather like this, it can be difficult to get to pharmacies or doctors. There is something you can do to ensure that you and your loved ones have medication on hand, though, when it's needed. It's a solution that tens of thousands of people have already discovered, and it's called the Jace case. The Jace case allows you to start stocking up on medication right now so you're prepared. It's a personalized emergency kit that contains essential antibiotics and medications that treat the most common and deadly bacterial infections. Provides 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use. Just fill out a simple form online. A doctor will look it over, and then he just makes sure that you don't have allergies to anything they're prescribing. There's add-ons. You got some options, too, like EpiPens and ivermectin. Jace Medical encourages you to take your family's health into your own hands. Go to jace.com, enter the promo code PAT at checkout, and get a discount on your order. That's promo code PAT at JASE, jace.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome to it. So if you're watching the Olympics, maybe you watched the opening ceremonies on Friday night and were as disgusted as we are with what they did. Dr. Jill Biden, though, by the way, loved them. They were spectacular to her. Spectacular. She doesn't know how we're going to top that in Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm just saying, how about no blasphemy for a start?
Talk about Overton window. Look, now all we're asking is we don't mock God.
No blasphemy. How about that? How about that? Would that be okay? But it's so bad now that we don't even, pedophiles have been legitimized. And we're being made to feel like, oh, you can't say mean things about pedophiles.
It's they want so desperately to mainstream it, and in that opening ceremony, you had the guy wearing just hideous outfit, sitting right next to a child with his
stuff hanging
out. Mm-hmm. That's they want that to be normal. They want you to be the freak to point that out and to have a problem with that.
Yeah, how dare you point that out?
Yeah.
If I want my genitals to hang out my underwear, I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's where we're at.
That's where we are.
That's where we're at. And another mention of Rush Limbaugh. I remember in the late 90s where he said they will try to mainstream pedophilia. And what was that?
Here we are.
Yeah, what was that? What was the group, the Man Boy Love Association? He was reading an article about them at the time, and he was saying, they are not going to stop until this is mainstream and everyone accepts this as totally fine.
Yeah, and they're trying to call pedophiles minor attracted people.
Gross.
It's pathetic. So this pedophile group called into a radio show.
Yeah, we've had this. This is interesting.
I work with IPCE. If you don't know, that's International Pedophile and Child Emancipation. And our goal is to abolish the stigmatization of people with pedophilic sexual interests and normalizing the potential role in moderating pedophiles' emotional well-being. I know that's a mouthful.
Wait, before we get any further,
what are we saying right now?
Yeah, this sounds disgusting. Are you saying you're a pedophile?
No, I'm not saying that I'm a pedophile in the sense that I've never had sexual relations with a person underage.
But you're saying we should accept
because
pedophiles?
That's illegal. Well, I just don't believe we should be shunning those in our community that have desires to engage in a romantic relationship with someone in a drastically different age group.
So you're saying you support pedophiles?
My gosh.
I'm saying I support love.
Okay.
And just because America views ages like 18 as some sort of imaginary bar or a line in the sand for humans to engage in romantic relationships doesn't mean it's right.
So you don't see anything wrong with a 20-year-old dating a 12-year-old?
That's not what I'm saying. But listen, in Nigeria, the age of consent is 11. It's 14 in other countries like Brazil, Colombia. If we're taking if we're taking a month as a country to showcase our pride for other communities of sexual exploration, then I think we should add the letter P, which is just as important as the L, G, B, and T.
Oh, my
God. The guy is like, I don't think so.
At least the hosts weren't having any of that.
That's good, right?
Yeah, that is good.
And I don't know anything about the woman calling. I don't know if she was trying to point this out, but I did look up the group, and they are a thing, the IPCE that she talked about for the emancipation stuff for pedophiles. Gross. Just International Pedophile and Child Emancipation.
Yeah. Pathetic.
Here we are, America. Good stuff.
Here we are. Wow.
How do you live in a society
Like this?
With those type of people in it.
It's hard. Yeah.
Don't like it.
It's not good. It's really not good. It is the destruction of Western civilization as we know it. That's what's happening right now. So we either just play along and let it happen, or we stand up and say, okay, you know what? No. It needs to stop here. Oh, man. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Also, have you checked out the record of Kamala Harris since she has become the Democrat anointed nominee? They're not going to go through democracy, which means so much to them. They love democracy. They worship democracy. They're trying to save democracy. So right now they've abandoned democracy so that they can save it. But if you are to look into her background, in 2019, before she became the vice president, she was the most liberal senator in the U.S. Senate. The most. I mean, Bernie Sanders in the Senate, not as liberal as Kamala Harris.
Wow.
Incredible. Now, she often presents the narrative that she comes from Oakland. She has a typical African-American experience. She's a mainstream Democrat. Completely false. She was born in Oakland because neighboring Berkeley, where her family lived, didn't have a major hospital. According to her birth certificate, she lived in Berkeley, not Oakland. She moved to Montreal. Then she lived back in Berkeley. Her mother was an Indian immigrant, worked at a Berkeley lab. Both her mom and her dad, who immigrated from Jamaica, so they have Afro-Jamaican and Irish heritage. They received PhDs from UC Berkeley, where they met. I mean, this is just, she's just a Berkeley liberal through and through. This upbringing is very different from somebody like, let's say, Tim Scott, who is a black man who grew up in South Carolina and whose mom was a nursing assistant, or say JD Vance, who came from impoverished Appalachia. In her autobiography, Harris writes of being often brought to protest marches in a stroller and a sea of legs moving about, of the energy and the shouts and the chants. That's great. Although Harris failed the California bar the first time, she eventually took a job in the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. When she was 29, she began dating California Assembly man Willie Brown.
Dating. That's what we're calling it?
Yeah, it's dating. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that for
Yes,
now.
sir.
Who appointed her to high-paying state commissions and helped elect her as San Francisco District Attorney. This launched her on the path to the Senate. Congressional ratings groups tell the tale of her time in the Senate. Based on her votes, Harris was rated the most liberal member of the Senate in 2019. Again, further left than Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren.
Wow.
That's by the nonpartisan group GovTrack. The liberal advocacy group Americans for Democratic Action, which also compiles ratings based on major votes, gave her a perfect score of 100 in 2017 and 2018. The Conservative Club for Growth, which rates based on economic, tax, and regulatory issues, gave her a lifetime rating of 9%. Progressive Punch listed Harris as one of the 5 most progressive senators with a rating of 96.76 out of 100, ahead of Sanders. The Conservative Heritage Action Group gave Harris a rating of 0% in 2019 through 21 and a 4% lifetime score. That just gives you an idea of who the Democratic nominee is. Her policy positions are consistently far left. Again, she supported ending private health insurance. She wanted to pass the Green New Deal. She wanted to impose carbon taxes. She wants to ban fracking. She wants to eliminate cash bail and mandatory minimum sentences. Wow. It's incredible that she is the Democrat nominee and nobody had a chance to vote for her. Nobody. She also wants to grant amnesty to all the illegals in this country. Who knows how many that is now? 30 million? 40 million? I don't know. But we've got a wide open border. She's going to keep it wide open if she's elected. Not good. I mean, she is about as bad a candidate as you can possibly imagine. And I certainly hope Donald Trump is going to be all over her record and her policies and where she wants to take this country, because people have to realize who she is. I think they just consider her to be goofy, with the Kamala cackle and her weird statements about
talking about the significance of the passage of time.
Yeah.
Right? The significance of the passage of time.
Okay, yeah, she's dopey. She's dumb, but she's incredibly dangerous.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.